If you are involved in online fandom spaces in any capacity, I'm sure you've noticed a weird anti sex wave permeating the space. Particularly, you might have noticed a trend where people are very against the idea of people, quote unquote, sexualizing characters, or viewing the idea of sexualizing a character as an inherent negative. You can't be a real fan of this fictional character because you find them hot, because you read smut, because you like NSFW fan art, or you make it. You aren't a real fan. You don't actually like the media or the character. You're just a creep or a weirdo, or you. People have been using the word gooner a lot as an insult, but I really don't think these people know that they're referencing a very niche, specific kink with that word. It's not like applicable for most of the population, but semantics. Only a real sex haver would know that. My bad for being a fun whore. But it's interesting that young people in fandom spaces are associating the concept of sexualizing a character as an inherent negative. Not even just the idea of maybe more intense kinks, not just the idea of maybe a kink they don't like. You know what I mean? They're talking about any sexualizing of the character. The character could be standing there in an NSFW art image, perfectly neutral and just happen to be naked, and that is seen on the same awful negative level as any kind of real life sexual harassment. Just go on any fandom site and you'll find at least a few posts under any given tag complaining about people, quote unquote, sexualizing a character instead of being a real fan, or sexualizing a character instead of engaging with the media in a quote unquote intellectual way. Yes, this is a symptom of a greater Puritan wave that fandoms have been dealing with for nearly a decade now. Voltron, I'll never forgive you for what you did. But this is also a symptom of the greater societal response to sex that has been growing since Trump's administration. The wave of modern conservatism that has convinced people, even people on the left, that sex is an ontological evil, or that sex is an inherent negative in any capacity. You cannot engage in anything sexual with good faith or good intentions. The idea of sex is inherently gross, disgusting, invasive. Even the idea of just privately enjoying something sexual is seen as depraved. Or the word I've been seeing in fandoms a lot, degenerate. I've been seeing people throw the word degenerate around a lot, which is shocking to me, because that's a Nazi word, guys. We should not be calling fellow queer people degenerates under any circumstances. That's just a Nazi word, but anyway. These people who get really mad about these characters being sexualized genuinely view the idea of anyone being involved in sex as negative, which is why they take it as an insult, or why they take it as an inherent insult to the media, an inherent shaming thing. They view it as a disrespectful act to find someone hot or to enjoy NSF content of a fictional character. They see sex as an act of hate and not an act of love or appreciation. Here in the real world, when two consenting adults get it on, sex is an act of connection. It is not always an act of love, fair. As a polyamorous person, I understand that. But sex is an act of human connection and vulnerability. It is a fun activity. It is an activity that feels good. It's an activity that is extremely healthy. And these people are viewing this connection and this excitement and this vulnerability that people can want to enjoy with a fictional character. They're viewing that as inherently evil because they view sex as inherently evil. They view sex as inherently a disrespectful, degrading, degenerate act. And the concept of sexual attraction is seen as disturbing instead of seen as what it is, which is morally neutral. It is morally neutral to have a sex life. It is morally neutral to enjoy sex. Sex is a morally neutral act, just like so many other human acts. It saddens me to see these young people, these like Gen Z, Gen Alphas. These are adults. These are adults I'm talking to that view sex as inherently scary and evil and view the inclusion of any adult sexual activity as inherently horrifying and disturbing. And now that's turned to also fictional characters, to pretend people that are not real and never will be real and have no autonomy and no emotions and no life. These are drawings, these are words. People are saying that the idea of finding them sexy or enjoying sex in fantastical ways with these fake people is inherently an evil thing to do. And it's really heartbreaking to deprive yourself of something as natural and normal as just enjoying the naked human body and enjoying sex, to say it's an inherently evil thing to love your own pleasure. It's really sad to see. I grew up in an area of the world with extremely intense evangelical Christian influence, and I was shamed a lot in school for being someone who openly enjoyed dating people and openly enjoyed kissing and openly enjoyed my body. I have never been a sex negative person, but I have been surrounded by sex negativity, and I see the harm it can do to people, and it makes me so sad. And it worries me that these people are going into these online spaces and calling everyone evil just for finding a fictional character hot. I just worry for how much other conservative ideology can slip their way into these people's minds if they are already convinced that the concept of pleasure and desire is an inherent evil. What else can they be convinced is evil?